And before I move on, it is important to note that there are specific cases where these things can be used properly. As a quick example, for appeal to pity, let's say a student was unable to attend class on the day of his final exam, and he comes to school the next day with his leg in a splint, and tells his teacher, "Can I have a make-up exam because I was run over by a truck yesterday and broke my leg and couldn't come over to school?" Well, this obviously incites some pity. However, there's also logic in it. There's a logical reason why he could not go to school and take his exam. And that is the key to argumentation, which these fallacies skip over, the reason of the argument. Now, the effects of these fallacies are also very important to really understand what they are and what they do, and then how to avoid them. Now, first, it is important to understand these really discredit your argument because they replace evidence with something else. As you can see in the appeal to pity, it replaces actual evidence with mere sentimentality and sympathy, so that you have external reasons besides actual proof to believe something. And the appeal to people, or bandwagon fallacy, replaces it with a sense of peer pressure and, well, if everybody else is doing it, how can so many be wrong? So that obviously defines truth, of course. That was sarcasm, don't let me down. Put that out in parentheses for you. And when you do not provide proof, and you only provide appeal, your claims are completely invalid. You can't convince anybody because they are over here at a separate opinion and you want them over here in your opinion. And while appeal can help your argument get to them, it does not provide the actual force which is needed to take them from that opinion over to this one. And so if your argument is completely discredited, you pretty much failed at the entire objective. And beyond merely discrediting this argument, your arguments, this also discredits you as the speaker. Because each of these fallacies uses a tactic of deceit and distraction to get your audience from point A over to point B, as I was referring to in the previous example. And so what does that really say about your reliability as a speaker? It smacks of incompetence, one might say, because you are not skilled enough and you are not honest enough to actually provide reasons for them to go over to your opinion when you're trying to trick them into doing it instead. This pretty much destroys all further credibility and gives you a bad impression for future references. So in review, because of the danger of these fallacies, it is important that we know and remember what they are and what they do so that we can better avoid them in the future. Now, if you manage to do this, it'll help you out in class, you'll get good grades, and you'll be able to convince people of your opinions. And if you don't, you'll crash and burn. And remember, just because you're popular or your story is sad, never means